All right, let's talk about the transition. In order to make great turns, you need also a great transition. The transition begins really immediately after turn completion. Turn completion is obviously when your desired change of direction has been achieved. Um, Momentum is best kept if the turn is done shortly after passing the panel in GS or at the gate in slalom. So, we want to come through and have most of our turn done and have direction done as we pass the panel or the slalom gate. So, all right, we've done that. Direction done. What's the first move? First move is going to have to be to transfer the weight. You see Jansrud here coming through, and he's transferring the weight. His direction is done, and he's transferring right there. Weight is transferred from the inside edge of the outside ski to the outside edge of the inside ski. So it'll be from to the new outside or currently uphill ski. But he is definitely, you can see him there. Don't need that. Transferring the weight, from this ski here to this one here, right? So Michaela talks about how, she likes to go to the new ski as soon as her skis are pointed to the next sort of, apex area. Jansrud come through here, although he is clearly looking down the hill. He is not headed right to the GS panel. He knows his apex based on where the following gate is. Needs to be up somewhere in this area. So he comes across and clearly is heading to that area, not heading to the panel. So head to the next apex area. Ted in slalom will say he likes to get to the new ski as soon as plastic touches plastic. So in other words, his pole guard or shin guard hits the slalom pole, slalom gate, move to the new ski. Ski racing has been said to be a race to the new ski. Whoever gets there first, he's got a good chance of winning. So bottom line, get to that new ski early. In other words, transfer the weight early. Jansrud here by heading to that new apex area, is allowed to, bring some shape back and has direction done by the panel. And take a look at how much room he gave his feet from the panel to his outside ski. That's a lot of room, but he gave his feet lots of room for a very strong angulated position. He's on the pole with his feet way off beneath him, way off the pole. All right, so once we've, here's Lindsey Vonn. She's coming through here, transferring the weight. As soon as her direction is done, transferring it right there. She is moving to the new ski, the old uphill ski or inside ski, but soon to be outside or downhill ski. She moves there. Once you do that, next thing you really want to do is using that inside or uphill leg, move along the skis, really before tipping them up. But you want to keep your center of mass over the center of this of the new ski, the new outside ski. So move along the ski, bring those hips forward. You need to get recentered and rebalanced in the transition in order to be back in the front of the boot. We need to have our hips over the boots at the top of the turn. So move along that new ski through the transition. Edge change, it's gradual, it's progressive, and it doesn't happen all the time like real fast. I mean, look at Lindsey here, and she starts, gradually and progressively putting these skis up on edge. Here's a little bit more, and so on. So, although she starts tipping her skis after she had moved along them to get into the front of the boot, she really doesn't start to turn, though. She's very patient. The rise line out here, and you can see when she intersects rise line, her skis are still going, out and away from the panel. All right, so it gives her the depth or opportunity to really bring shape back to the panel. So, transitions, sometimes they're long. They're very long and with more of a short, powerful type arc. And, that the transition's length is what allows racers to get out deep in the turn. It allows us to go out with depth, get deep in the turn, and then, come back onto the panel or pole with direction. So think about turn shape, bringing your turn shape back to the gate. Another important thing about the transition is to stay connected with the snow. We can see Lindsay here, maintaining snow contact. We can also see it here in slalom, shown here with Marcel Hirscher, and he maintains contact, really by staying connected with the snow. He's got flexion of the ankles and knees, and the hips. And particularly in slalom, we'll use some retraction to help that. So we're not really standing up real tall in the transition. And it's the same with GS. We're not having gigantic up and down motion. And in fact, the opposite in slalom, using retraction. The opposite of up on weighting in between. But even in GS, we're not looking at, Ted talks about having a relatively low body position through the transition. Angulation, starts with the ankles, knees, and then the body is moved inside to allow the feet to be out from under the body. So think about edging your skis, as we said, progressively, but, from the snow up. Use your ankles, then your knees, and then, you move the hip inside the turn, which will allow the feet to be out from underneath us. As you can see, Marcel clearly has his feet out from underneath him through this turn. You can also see, in this particular gate, Marcel brought clearly shape back to the pole, right? He got it done from above. So at the completion of this turn, that gate was really in his way. And right there, plastic meets plastic. As soon as he knocks that thing down, he's probably transferring the weight, to the new ski, to the new outside ski. One other thing, skiing, slalom or GS, outside ski dominated sport. The outside ski gets up on edge, outside leg is slightly flexed there, and you push hard. So I hope this helps. Remember, work on your transitions. It's equally as important as the turns. And I want to thank Eric Harlow from United States Ski Association, our Eastern Alpine Director, for his thoughts on this topic. And of course, Ron LeMaster for some awesome pictures that really help all of us, analyze and look at the best skiers. So thanks, guys. Enjoy.